Welcome into episode number 148 of The Voice Behind the Voice. I'm Sean Aronson, the TV and radio broadcaster for the St. Paul Saints, an independent minor league baseball team in the Twin Cities. I don't know if you can hear it, but probably you can. I have been a little bit under the weather for the last week. Nothing major, but it is all in my nose and in my sinuses, and I did 3 interviews last week, so when we get to those, you're going to hear I sounded even worse than I do right now, but very stuffed up and very congested. But 3 in 1 week, and had to get them done, and all the broadcasters were fantastic. I want to tell you a story before we get to the guest for this week, and maybe this is only interesting to me. But as I've told you before, this is my podcast, so you can fast forward through the intro of this if you want to. And this relates to my stupidity and my house, okay? So it's probably going to be about a 3-minute story or so. Try to keep this short to show you my stupidity here. So about 2 months ago, I have a light that is inside of a closet in the bathroom. So bathroom, closet in the bathroom, light. A couple of months ago, the light went out completely, right? Didn't work. Flip the switch, does not work. So first thing you do with that, what do? Change the light bulb. Change the light bulb, did not work. Second thing I did was I changed the switch, thinking, all right, maybe there's a faulty switch. Changed the switch, okay? 0 for 2. There was a gentleman here who worked for an electric company at the ballpark he was working on some stuff here at the ballpark, and I went up to him one day and I said, hey, here's the deal. I don't know what's going on. And he said, well, is it one of those sort of dome lights? And I said, yes. He said, well, oftentimes those heat up so much that it goes through the covering to the wires and will overheat the wires, and the wires will snap out. I said, take everything off. See if that's the problem. So I did that. Now, mind you, I am not the handiest of persons at all, but I did this. None of the wires looked like they were loose, but I took them all out of the wire nuts, put them back in, put everything back up. Still did not work. So at this point, I'm out of answers. Now, I'm not going to call an electrician because I'm not going to have someone charge me $75, $100, $150, whatever it is, to fix a light in a closet that really doesn't matter. It's basically a utility closet. I've got paint stuff in there and towels and things like that. So here's the second part of this story. I have an electric toothbrush plugged into the plug in the bathroom. Last week it stops working. So I go out and I buy a new electric toothbrush. Go to plug it in to charge it up, and it's not charging. I have another plug in a separate area in the bathroom that I plug it into. That's not working either. So I thought, there's no way this is a faulty toothbrush, electric toothbrush. So I plug it into a plug in my bedroom, and it works. So I realize at this point that there is something wrong with the electrical outlet. Well, there is on one of the plugs in there a button that is a test button. And I don't know, the other button says something else. I forgot what it is, but it's a RFGC plug or something along those lines, whatever they call it. I don't know. Anyways, and I noticed that the button, for whatever reason, has, popped out. You've got to push it back in, which has happened before. It's tripped before. So I push it, and now the toothbrush starts to charge on its own. Now, any of you that are handy at all can see where this story is about to go. So I'm going to paint this bathroom this coming weekend. I'm doing this on the 25th. So at the beginning of March 1, February 20, March 1, I'm going to paint this bathroom, which will be an adventure in itself. So I went out this weekend. I bought paint. As I'm coming back and going to the bathroom to put the paint in this closet, I want to turn on the light in the bathroom, knowing that the light in the closet does not work. And I accidentally flipped the wrong switch, and magically, the light goes on. Why is that? Because that light bulb is controlled by that little switch that tripped itself and had been out for 2 months. this had been my issue. One stupid button that I had to press in. Now, the amazing thing about this is the toothbrush took 2 months before it finally ran out of juice, which I could not believe. But the mistake cost me $50 because I went out and bought a new electric toothbrush and used it, so I cannot return it. And 2 months of angst on why this light bulb did not work. I, my friends, am a moron. And I told you I am not handy. I do not know how to fix things. And that is evidence number 1 right there. Long-winded story, but poking fun at myself. Hopefully you get a good chuckle out of that, especially those of you that are handy. So there you go. With that, a man who is a lot smarter than I am, episode number 148, Matt Lepay of the Wisconsin Badgers. Really, just a genuinely nice guy. We sat down at the hotel they were staying at. At the very end of this, the last, 10 minutes or so, you are going to hear a noise, a siren that sounds like we are being invaded. For whatever reason, the city of Minneapolis decided that they were going to turn their alarms on at this point. It sounded like a hurricane alarm or a tornado alarm or something like that. I don't know what they were doing. But it goes on for a good 1 to 2 solid minutes, then stops, then goes back on again, stops, and I think goes back on a third time. So it's towards the end of the podcast. There wasn't anything we could do about it. We just powered through it, but you'll hear this. But Matt's got some good stories, including nearly becoming the voice of the Minnesota Vikings before Paul Allen got the job. So interesting story behind that. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, you can do so on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to rate it. Be sure to tell your friends about it. Get it out to everybody. And you can do so on social media. You can follow us, Twitter @TheVoiceBTV, Facebook, facebook.com/TheVoiceBTV. And you can always email me, thevoicebtv@gmail.com. All right, let's get to it. Episode number 148. It is Matt Lepay of the Wisconsin Badgers. JW, you feel my pain as a homeowner. I know you do. Roll the open.
If he breaks this, it's 408. So I'm like, whoa. To myself, as I'm trying to somewhat coherently describe what's going on, and then as it turns out, he breaks it, he goes all the way, and I just blurt out 408. I mean, it was a little dumb luck, I guess, that
Sure.
At least I was ready for it,
Yeah.
but it was surreal to have someone have that kind of a game.